phone rings at midnight, vibrating violently on a table. The name flashing is of someone long dead, buried years ago. Against all reason, the call is answered. A voice, fragile yet familiar, whispers, "Come find me." The line goes silent, but the air grows heavy, filled with the scent of earth, freshly disturbed. In another city, a student knocks on a locked wooden door as a joke. The reply is immediate. 3 heavy knocks echo back. Laughter dies, replaced by dread, as the door slowly creaks open on its own. Beyond is not another room, but a black corridor stretching endlessly, its walls pulsing like flesh, swallowing light and courage alike. At a night market, a woman receives a receipt printed on paper darker than coal. She thinks nothing of it until names begin appearing, first friends, then family, then her own. Each name crossed out means another funeral. The receipt always returns, no matter how far it's thrown away, promising the last line will never be avoided. These are not forgotten legends told to frighten children. They are encounters, witnessed, retold, and feared, persisting because those who disappear leave no other explanation. Tonight, we open 3 doors, best left closed. The call from the dead in Korea, the door that knocks back in Japan, and the black receipt that curses lives. You may believe urban legends fade with time, but in Asia, they are alive. They wait in silence, hidden in phones, doors, and even slips of paper exchanged at night. Survivors speak only once, their voices breaking, as if sharing takes away what little life remains. These stories are proof, heavy with echoes of the lost. What you're about to hear is not entertainment. These are urban legends wrapped in real accounts, a descent into darkness told by shadows themselves. Listen carefully, for fear is the only guide. Subscribe if you dare, and tell us from where you are watching, if the silence around you doesn't already answer for you. It begins with something ordinary, a phone buzzing at midnight. The screen glows in the dark room, and the name displayed is impossible. It belongs to a relative buried years ago. At first, the man thinks it must be a cruel prank. Yet the number is correct, the tone piercing, urging him to answer, despite reason screaming no. He finally picks up, hand trembling. A voice emerges, soft, familiar, filled with static. It is his mother's voice, clear enough to recognize, though warped, as if underwater. She whispers his childhood nickname, the one only she used. Tears well in his eyes. He asks where she is. The reply, "Come find me." Then silence, endless and suffocating. Shaken, he spends the night awake, phone clutched tightly. The next day, curiosity overwhelms fear. He checks the call log. There is nothing, no record of any call, no missed numbers, no trace. Friends dismiss it as stress, grief resurfacing, but the sound of her voice lingers, echoing through every quiet moment, undeniable and impossible to forget. The second night, it rings again. Same time, same impossible name. This time, when he answers, the voice is urgent, desperate. "I'm cold. It's dark here. Come." The words cut through static, like blades. He demands to know where she is, but the line breaks into shrieks, distorted sobs, then cuts off abruptly, leaving only crushing silence. He begins researching online, searching forums for others who experience similar calls. To his horror, he finds dozens of accounts. Each story is nearly identical. A dead loved one calling at midnight, pleading for help, begging to be found. In every case, the caller answered more than once, and within days, the living person disappeared without explanation. Determined to resist, he silences his phone on the third night. Midnight passes in heavy silence, but then something worse. The phone vibrates across the table, lighting up with the same name. Even silenced, the call pushes through. He hides the device under blankets, yet feels the vibration crawl through the room like something alive. Sleep is impossible. Every shadow seems filled with movement. At 3 a.m., he finally dares to check. The phone is dead, battery drained, but the screen flickers faintly, showing missed calls dozens, all from the same impossible number. His reflection in the darkened glass appears distorted, lips moving silently, as though mimicking words not spoken aloud. On the fourth night, he answers again, breaking his resolve. The voice is colder now, hollow and layered, as if multiple people speak at once. They chant his name, stretching it into something unrecognizable. He tries to hang up, but the phone clings to his hand, glued with sweat. The call ends only when the chanting stops abruptly. He begins hallucinating during the day. In reflections, he sees his mother's face, smiling faintly, lips whispering unheard words. In crowds, his phone buzzes, but when checked, no notification appears. The boundary between memory and haunting dissolves. Friends notice his exhaustion, the emptiness in his eyes, but he insists he is fine. He knows something has chosen him. By the fifth night, the calls no longer wait for midnight. They come hourly, voices layering over each other, demanding, pleading, commanding. His apartment fills with phantom echoes, his phone vibrating even when dismantled, battery removed. He smashes it, but fragments still glow faintly in the dark. A broken screen lights up, flashing the name, Mother. Neighbors report strange sounds seeping through his walls, conversations where only one voice responds, followed by screams muffled and cut short. They hear ringing phones, though he has none. On the sixth day, coworkers notice he does not arrive. His apartment door remains locked. Inside, everything appears untouched, except for the phone, reassembled, lying on the floor. The device shows only one entry in its call history, a single outgoing call at midnight, lasting exactly 1 hour. The recipient's number is blank, the space where digits should be an empty void. Investigators dismiss it as a malfunction, but no one explains the dried mud across the floor, as though something had climbed inside. Whispers spread that he is not missing, but taken. Some claim to have seen him wandering graveyards at night, eyes blank, phone pressed to his ear, listening intently. Others insist they hear his voice answering calls from beyond, urging them to pick up. Each story ends the same. Another person gone, another possession left behind. The legend survives, because phones still ring at midnight, displaying names that should no longer exist. Those who answer once are marked, those who answer twice are claimed, and those who resist find their devices glowing anyway, vibrating with hunger. The question is not if the dead can reach us, but how long you will resist answering. It starts as a dare among students, exploring an abandoned dormitory. At the end of the hallway stands a locked wooden door, worn but intact. They joke nervously, daring one another to knock. When the first hand raps 3 times, silence follows. Then, impossibly, 3 heavy knocks echo back, shaking the frame. Their laughter stops, replaced by suffocating dread. Fear turns quickly into nervous bravado. One student insists it was coincidence, perhaps an echo bouncing strangely through the abandoned halls. He knocks again, harder this time. The door responds instantly, 3 louder bangs. So powerful dust falls from the ceiling, their confidence drains away. The air feels thick, each breath like swallowing water. Something inside has acknowledged them. They lean close, pressing an ear to the wood. Faint breathing emerges, steady and deliberate, as if someone waits patiently on the other side. One swears he hears whispering, but the words are muffled, impossible to understand. When the knob is tried, it does not turn. Yet the whispers grow louder, surrounding them from every angle. Unease pushes most to retreat, but one student, emboldened by fear, demands they open it. As he places both hands against the wood, it grows unnaturally cold, numbing his skin. The door trembles slightly under his palms, not from his pushing, but as if something within is pressing back, eager to meet him, eager to be released. The decision is made to leave, but the hallway seems longer than before. Each step echoes unnaturally, repeating as though footsteps follow behind. The locked door creaks faintly, though no one touches it. When they glance back, it appears closer, impossibly so. Like the corridor itself bends and folds to keep them tethered to its presence. Panic takes hold. They break into a run, but the door slams violently, the sound rolling through the building like thunder. The lights overhead flicker, revealing warped shadows stretching along the walls. A single student trips, looking back just once. He swears the door was open for a moment, revealing blackness that pulsed like a living void. After that night, the group swears to never speak of it again. Yet, each one begins to hear knocks at home, 3 sharp raps against windows, walls, even closet doors. When checked, nothing is there. The sound follows them, stalking through silence, growing louder each night. Their fear deepens into obsession. The door has marked them. One by one, they attempt to ignore the sounds, but ignoring only strengthens them. The knocks become violent, rattling furniture, waking neighbors. A girl's bedroom door once shook so violently that hinges cracked, though no one stood outside. Her parents called it hysteria, but she swore she could hear whispers begging her to open just once. Weeks later, she vanishes without trace. In her room, scratches cover the inside of her door, not outside. Investigators claim she did it herself, but no explanation fits the angle or depth. The whispers remain for those left behind, accusing, promising that the locked wooden door was never meant to keep things out, only to keep them in. The others unravel quickly. One student is found wandering campus late at night, knocking repeatedly on every door he finds, whispering, "Answer me." Another refuses to enter buildings entirely, fearing any door might respond. Their fear isolates them, consumed by something unseen. Soon, both are missing, rooms left behind, with doors still trembling faintly. Rumors spread across the university. Some say the building no longer exists, demolished after too many disappearances. Others insist it remains hidden, accessible only to those already marked. Students claim to hear knocks during exams, 3 slow raps from empty rooms. Security patrols swear doors open by themselves, revealing only shadows stretching endlessly inside. Legends grow darker. Survivors say if you answer the knocks 3 times, the door opens fully. Inside is not another room, but a corridor that loops endlessly, lined with doors that all knock back. No one has returned from stepping across that threshold. Only the sound remains, echoing across campus like a curse tied to wood. Those who research the phenomenon uncover fragments of older reports. The door predates the university, once part of a boarding house destroyed by fire. Survivors claimed trapped voices begged from behind locked doors, pounding to escape flames. Perhaps those voices never left, forever echoing, forever knocking, luring the living to join them in that endless darkness. Now the warning is simple. If you ever hear 3 knocks answered back, leave immediately. Do not listen for whispers, do not touch the wood, and never open. The door is not a passage, but a predator. And once it knows your name, every door you encounter becomes its mouth, waiting to swallow you whole. It begins in a crowded night market, neon lights buzzing faintly above stalls. A woman buys food, receiving change with a folded receipt. At first, she thinks nothing of it, until she notices the slip is entirely black, no ink, no numbers. She laughs nervously, assuming it a misprint. Yet the paper feels heavier, strangely warm, as though it carries something alive within its folds. At home, curiosity gnaws. She unfolds the receipt again, only to find faint letters bleeding through the darkness. Her friend's name appears, shaky and uneven, as though written by a trembling hand. Hours later, the friend is found dead in a sudden accident. Shock overwhelms her, but the black paper remains, the name now crossed out with an invisible hand. She tries burning it, but the flames recoil, refusing to consume. The receipt blackens further, curling yet never turning to ash. Thrown away, it returns the next morning, lying neatly on her kitchen table. This time, 2 names are etched into the paper, her co-workers and her cousins. The handwriting pulses faintly, as though each letter breathes, waiting for recognition. Desperate, she seeks help, showing the receipt to her family. They laugh, dismissing it as a prank. That night, her co-worker collapses, struck suddenly by illness. The cousin crashes while driving home, no survivors. Both names vanish from the slip, leaving only one left blank. Her own name emerges slowly, each letter scratching into the paper like claws. She hides it inside a locked drawer, refusing to look again. But the sound of paper rustling follows her, even in silence. In the bathroom, the mirror fogs, and behind her, she sees the reflection of the black slip resting in her hand, though she left it elsewhere. The weight of inevitability presses heavy against her chest. Sleepless nights follow. Each morning, the receipt reappears, neatly placed on her pillow. She refuses to touch it, but the letters keep shifting, lengthening as though carving a death sentence. Coworkers whisper about her hollow eyes, how she flinches at the faintest crumple of paper. She knows it is not madness. The receipt is rewriting her future with ink of despair. In desperation, she visits fortune tellers. Most refuse to touch it, pale with terror upon seeing the black surface. One agrees, hands trembling, whispering, "It's not paper, it's a contract." He warns that tearing it is useless. The only escape is to pass it to another willingly. Survival demands sacrifice, trading her life for another's unknowingly. The thought poisons her. At the market again, she buys tea, hesitating as the vendor prepares change. She considers slipping the receipt into his pile, escaping her fate. Yet guilt stops her. She cannot doom another to carry the curse. That night, however, she dreams of dozens of hands pressing the paper into hers, demanding she choose. By morning, the receipt grows longer, curling across the floor. Dozens of names bleed through its surface, neighbors, friends, even strangers she brushed past. Each day new deaths confirm its accuracy. Newspapers echo what the paper already declared. She is no longer witness, but executioner, carrying invisible blood upon her hands with every refusal to let it go. She avoids people, isolating herself. Yet the names multiply, as though her very presence condemns those nearby. The slip twists like a serpent, filling drawers, slipping under doors. Her apartment smells of burned paper, though nothing burns. She knows her own name still waits, pulsing faintly, the final line of the list, promising her end will not be gentle. Neighbors hear her screaming one night. When they break in, the apartment is empty, furniture undisturbed. Only scraps of black paper scatter across the floor, moving faintly as if breathing. Authorities dismiss it as stress-induced disappearance, claiming she fled. But no one explains why the scraps reform themselves each dawn into a single perfect receipt, lying untouched. Legends spread through the market. Some vendors whisper about cursed ink, others about spirits bound to commerce, feeding on exchanges. Shoppers glance nervously at receipts, fearing blank spots or smudges. Occasionally, someone swears they've seen one entirely black, handed without thought. Those who speak too loudly vanish soon after, leaving only rumors and a slip of paper behind. The story becomes warning. Check your receipts carefully. Never accept folded slips from strangers. If you find one black, do not look too long. The names are invitations, binding contracts of mortality. Survivors whisper that passing it on spares you, but steals another's fate. Most refuse, yet temptation festers, because survival makes monsters of anyone cornered by death. Now the legend endures, because black receipts still surface in shadows of night markets. They drift between hands, sealing lives with invisible ink. Each name written is a countdown, every cross line another life erased. And when your name finally appears, you will know the truth. The receipt was never papered, was always your death notice, waiting patiently. Legends endure because fear gives them breath. Phones ring with impossible voices. Doors echo knocks that should not exist, and slips of paper decide who lives or dies. These stories are not buried in history. They follow us, waiting in silence. The dead call, the doors respond, and the ink bleeds endlessly. Refusal never protects resistance, only delays the inevitable. Asia's urban legends are not simply tales whispered in passing. They are warnings carved into daily life. A midnight call might carry your name. A door you knock could be knocking back. A receipt too dark to read could already be writing your fate. Those who vanished prove these are not games. They are rules. Break them and disappear. Perhaps the most terrifying truth is their persistence. Stories survive because victims never return, leaving silence as the only evidence. Yet silence speaks louder than screams. It reminds us that legends are not inventions, but reflections of something older, patient, and hungry. And when your moment arrives, you will realize too late, the legend has already chosen you.